So somebody asked me to do a video on making the forearms larger. Uh, my arms were a lot bigger back when I trained them, so they're not real big right now. But the things that will help you build them is get a flat bench, and when you put your arms over the bench, basically. On the bench, you will be you're going to take both arms, of course, like this, and you use a bar, and you just use it's a reverse wrist curl, and so as you're doing that, it hits the top of the flexors of the arm, and then the other one is like you use both hands like this, and you do a wrist curl, and that builds the flexors. So you got the extensors from reverse and flexors this way. As far as other exercises go, to make your arms bigger, you can take a sledgehammer and start out by going closer to the head of it, and do some leveraging like this. That helps build this, and up in here, I forget what this muscle's called. I think it's a flexor. I can't think of it right now, but as you can see, it builds the muscle, kind of pops it out. Anyway, this will start getting a little bit more defined, and this will get larger from doing that as well. So you're going to do these. Always start light, build up, do them under concentration. Try to go slower rather than fast. The other thing I like to do is it's called a pronation. You twist it. I think this is supination when you go back. So pronation this way and supination this way. And that helps build a lot of the muscle, different parts obviously as it's twisting. This muscle helps a lot with arm wrestling, this exercise. I mean, always go under control with this kind of an exercise, because if you let it hit too hard, it can strain a lot of small ligaments and things like that, and you don't want that to happen. I always do low reps. You might be one of those people that have different muscle fibers, so you might need to do more reps. It's kind of all up in, you just test it out yourself and see where you are. I've had friends that do like an excessive amount of reps, like they're doing 30 reps and 50 reps and stuff like that. I mean, I think that's okay if you're going to do push-ups or something like that, body squats. I don't know about curls. I think you'll end up getting an elbow issue, and I don't think that's I just don't think it's a great idea to do with curls, or if you're using a super light weight, unless your purpose is bodybuilding, but I'm not even sure bodybuilders really go over the range of 15 to 25. At least that's, 20 years ago that was the thing. I don't know what it is now, so you'll have to ask a bodybuilder for that, if there's any good use for it. Anyway, you'll come down as you warm up doing the leverages for that muscle, and then you'll come back down and do it a little bit farther down. Always do it under control, and then you can fight it on the way down, which is a negative. So after you pump it up and you're worn out, and you can only get one more left, one rep left out of it, then you'll hold it, and as it overpowers you, as you lose strength, it'll fall, and then you fight it all the way down, and that's a negative. Also do the twisting, like I said. Move it down a little bit. You don't have to go a whole fist down, just go half maybe, and then do the supination. Supination, just remember, is kind of like holding a bowl of soup. So if you're pronating this way or turning this way, you're going to supinate. So your supination, and this is pronation, which I believe is more like if you're prone to grab something like that or prone to reach this way, because your hand is open and you're reaching forward. But anyway, you'll always want to go under control with everything, and that will help. It helps the grip too, because it fights against the fingers, which is going to build the flexors. Some of the other exercises that really build up the grip or the forearms is the grip. Like if you use, like let's say you use some PVC pipe and you've got a thicker handle, and so your handle is thick like this, or even a little bit less, like let's say it's around here, like a lot of my dumbbells are about as thick as a Red Bull can. And so but if you get something like that, it's going to build up your grip and it'll help make your muscles bigger as well. So when a lot of my dumbbell work that I do, I start out like this. I'm doing, you know, if I'm doing curls or whatever, it helps build the wrists. There is a point where it gets too big to actually, I think it hinders more the wrist work than anything once it's too wide. But I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of people with different flexibility in their wrist than me. This one right here I broke a long time ago, so I get strange pains in it and stuff like that. So anyway, the grip, if you're gripping stuff like that all the time, whether it's heavy or whether it's heavy dumbbells or whatever you're gripping onto, will help build the forearm size up. One of the best exercises to build the crap out of your arms, the forearms, is doing a farmer's carry. So if you're doing a farmer's carry, or even a heavy suitcase carry, so obviously a suitcase carry is one side. So you take it for a walk like this on one side, so it's almost like you're just holding a suitcase, you know. Now a farmer's carry is going to be like when you got two hands, and you're, whether it's two buckets or like I have a couple of railroad ties, and I just wrap them up, and so I've got handles with them, and so that's a farmer's carry. So you're building, you know, and it's heavy loaded, you know, it's a heavy amount of weight, you know, and so it's going to build my arms all around, and you know, as I'm moving, it's going to be you know, it's going to activate differently, you know, different pressures. Like you're going to get a surge on the front side or the back side of the arm, which is a really good thing too. And then there's people that do plate workouts. I'm trying to think here. I use a 5-pound to show. Sorry, the sun's been beating down on these all day. It's super hot, so take a cold plate and you're going to want to do this with it. Pinch grip, or can't think what I'm bringing up. So you take a pinch grip like this on a plate, which you take a couple of plates together. Typically, people use 2 of them, and so they'll take, you know, a heavy load, typically 45s, and they'll go for a walk like that. And this is a pinch grip style farmer's carry, or you can just do a you know, a suitcase carry, either way. So pinch grip is, everything's got different reasoning behind it. If you want to build your entire grip with all kinds of things, then you want to do not only crushing but pinch grip, and you know, people that like to do arm wrestling, they're going to train for pronation. I think there's a couple people or groups that do supination training, and then reverse and stuff like that. So these help with making the arms bigger, but also so does any kind, like when you're doing doing a wrist curl and you're coming up, you should let the weight go down on your fingers right here, and then that kind of helps with the grip on top of, instead of just doing like a cupping type of a thing. So this will actually help put some size on it too as you roll the weight up your fingers. And like I said, always start light and go lighter. You know, I mean, as you're really light, you barely build up, and then that way you're not going to tear anything, and you're going to get a good pump. And if you're going for strength, on top of blowing your arms up, making them big, because higher reps usually will help you get some size to you. That's not the case with everybody, of course. Some people are different, but that's typically it's the range from it can be 5 to 8, or it can be 12 to 15 reps. Some people blow up differently. I didn't get massive, but I did. My reps were actually pretty low, and I ballooned up pretty big. I got up to 270 on a 5'11" frame. I mean, my gut stuck out a little bit bigger than it is now, but I was doing a lot of strongman stuff, and I wasn't really focusing on keeping it flat. You know, I was more interested in the strength, and they say that sometimes not sometimes, but a lot of times the stomach will inflate out to help hold the weight that you're bearing on your shoulders, or if you're pulling, it balloons out for balance. And so, like I said, not in every case, but even somebody that looks like Mariusz Pudzianowski, even though he had an amazing six-pack, he still had, his gut was still thick, you know, it kind of ballooned out. So whenever he would carry like 500 pounds on each arm, his stomach would pop out like that. And when he was done, it would go back to normal. You can do all kinds of workouts. Some people train with a bar behind their back to do which is the same movement as this, you know, forearm or wrist curl, the basic one. You can still turn it around and curl this way. I was taking a sledgehammer too and doing this as a workout, and that does basically the flexion to. I was just on this kick with trying to do different things with a sledgehammer, just to, you know, whether I was hitting a tire with it or whatever. I was just trying to build up different muscles in my arms, so they were, you know, it was more real world strength. So that's kind of what I was focusing on. And another thing that I like to do to build up the forearm mass is to take a lighter dumbbell. Obviously, this isn't light right now, but basically, so this, when you're doing a hammer curl, this is going to activate right away too. As you can see, it did. And I think that's the part of the forearm that attaches up in between the bicep and tricep. But it still helps with size of the forearm. This is too heavy right now. I didn't warm up. Typically, this is like 55 pounds. If I'm going to do curls, I like to start out with 25s and just go slow. I even do a slight twist when I'm doing mine, just to activate different, kind of throw off the balance of things and make them a little bit stronger in different areas, but I don't know if it necessarily has anything to do with bulk. But I like to, if you look at that forearm muscle here, so that actually helps with the muscular size, you know, that I was asked earlier, how to make the forearms bigger. So My forearms are not big like they used to be. I think they're only like 14 and a half. They were around 16 at one time. That was flexed like this, of course, not like that. There was an inch difference from here to here at its biggest time. So, and I'm trying to think here what else we have. Oh yeah, and hand springs. Make sure you get some hand springs. You can get the ones that look like these, and you just grip them like that. You can get racket balls. I was taking racket balls and crushing them in with my 2 fingers. These two. You can take a couple of racket balls and hold on to them and crush them in like that. So there's a ball here and a ball here, and then you just crush them in. You can put a racquetball inside of a handspring. So if you can't afford like a $20 or $30 gripper, you can go down and put a racquetball inside of a regular, cheaper Walmart version. You know, a little handspring that's like 3 pounds or whatever. You stick that in there and you grip it. It actually puts a lot of resistance in there, and you can hold them, do statics, and hold it as long as you can until it fights you open. You can squeeze it at different spots, and that will make, you know, the flexors huge too. And just pump up, you know, a lot of reps. That's another one. I mean, I know earlier I said things like push-ups, gripping. Like if you've got something that's 3 to 5 pounds, that's a different story than doing a bicep curl, for example, with like, you know, 25 pounds and you do 50 reps. I think that's going to end up damaging the, you know, the elbow more than not. I had a friend that was he did like 50 to 70 reps with his triceps, and he got an overwork injury, you know, and it was just, his elbow would kill him all the time. And in fact, you know, he never got into lifting after that because every time he would do something, he would get an elbow issue. And so there's just things like that. So if you, that's in general, that's the things that will make your forearms bigger. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, just comment and I'll get back with you.